Analysts say the impact of the retaliatory tariffs on Indian exports could be in the billions. The country's gems and jewelry industry, which exports more than $11 billion worth of merchandise, says that the duties could put thousands of workers here out of work. It expects reciprocal tariffs on India's gems exports to be between 5 to 20%, and analysts say a broad range of Indian goods could face similar taxes. Overall, the Indian economy could actually face a $7 billion hit from these duties. After Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US last month, India was actually hoping for some sort of concessions, but the president's speech to Congress this week suggests that those efforts may have failed. Now, whatever they tax us, we will tax them, Trump said. This comes as Indian Minister of Trade and Commerce Piyush Goyal is actually currently on a trip to the US to hammer out the details of a trade deal between the two countries. The hope is that by allowing greater access to American goods in the Indian market, US tariffs on Indian products could actually be averted or at least minimized in some sense. After the tariff announcement, India's opposition parties are now criticizing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government for not doing enough to avert these reciprocal tariffs that have now been imposed. Apart from the jewelry industry, analysts say India's food, textile and pharmaceutical industries could also bear the brunt. According to Moody's research, India's companies that could be impacted, they have little exposure to the US market, but the overall impact could actually be substantial. In fact, it could cost India about 0.6% of its GDP, and as similar tariffs hit countries that buy from India to export to the US, the impact could go up as high as 4%. It's possibly why India has upped its efforts in recent weeks to secure trade deals with the UK and the European Union to diversify its pool of trade partners. President Trump has criticized India in the past for having a massive trade surplus with the US, and Indian officials are now saying that they are considering purchasing more defense and petroleum products from the US to bridge these gaps. Despite that, it remains to be seen whether this can persuade the US to drop the reciprocal tariffs against India before the April 2 deadline. Ishan Garg, SABC News, New Delhi.